I yanked open the oven. Cinnamon steam hit my face. I slid the tray out fast, no mitts, just a towel. The kitchen smelled like every Christmas before this one. Butter, clove, the timer buzzed. I shut it off with the side of my fist. Then my phone lit up on the counter. We're spending Christmas with Val's family. No time today.
This changes
maybe
everything
next
we
week.
discussed.
No call,
Are you certain?
no voice,
Absolutely.
no Merry Christmas. Just a string of words cold as the tile under my bare feet. I stood still, rolled the towel slowly in my hand. The oven ticked as it cooled. Outside, somewhere a car engine started. I turned off the stove. Didn't slam it, didn't mutter, didn't move for a long while. The rolls sat golden and puffed. I didn't touch them. I poured the coffee. Didn't sip, just capped the thermos. Wrapped the foil like I was going somewhere. I wasn't. Not yet. My chair stayed tucked under the table. Across from it, next to the bowl of fruit, was the envelope. Do not file yet, R. West. His handwriting hadn't changed. Still precise all caps. I didn't open it. Didn't need to. I already knew what was inside. I picked up the tray, wrapped it tight. Slid it into the old picnic bag I kept for church potlucks. Tucked in the thermos, a fork, napkin. 1 cup, not 2. The front door creaked. I didn't bother to oil it last week. The wind cut in sharp across my arms, but I didn't flinch. Out on the porch, I paused. Somewhere down the street, kids were laughing. A wreath rattled on someone's door. I stepped off the porch, slow, steady. The car wasn't in the driveway anymore, only the faint lines of tires in fresh snow. I followed them with my eyes. Then I looked down. Their dog had left paw prints, 2 lighter, messier, scattered among the tracks. One set of them turned back halfway down the drive. Just one. I pulled the scarf tighter and kept walking toward the sidewalk. I stepped off the curb. The picnic bag hit my thigh. I adjusted the strap quick. Kept walking. The snow was soft but slick. My boots left deep prints. I didn't bother brushing them out. Halfway across the yard, I heard tires crunch. Their car nosed out of the garage. Valeria behind the wheel, sunglasses on mouth set. The kids pressed their faces to the windows. Their fingers fogged the glass. One of them waved. I raised my hand, froze, lowered it before they could see. Nate sat passenger side phone in hand, head down. I didn't move. The back window rolled down just an inch. Their golden retriever barked one loud, hopeful yelp. His tail thumped against the seat. Then nothing. Valeria tapped the gas. They turned left toward the highway. Didn't look back. Except the dog. He stood, turned fully, stared through the rear window until the curve took them out of sight. I stood in the silence after. No engine, no wind. Just my breath showing in the cold. I shifted the bag, turned toward the driveway. The side window was still fogged. But I saw it. Just for a second. A gift bag sitting by the front door. Red. White ribbon. A yellow sticky note on the side from Nana. Paid for, but not signed. I didn't go closer. I already knew what it was. I'd bought that sweater last month, folded it, picked the size, paid cash. But the signature, that wasn't mine. I walked back toward the porch. My legs ached. Not from age, from something heavier. The door creaked again. I closed it behind me. Inside, it smelled like cinnamon and quiet. The house didn't feel empty, just paused. I put the bag down, took off my coat. Sat, finally. The coffee was still warm. I didn't drink it. I reached across the table and slid the red folder toward me. Not to open it, just to feel the weight. I pulled the suitcase down from the top shelf. Wiped the dust off, clicked it open. The lining still smelled like cedar and something older. I packed fast. 2 sweaters, slacks, a black coat, gloves, no scarves, toothbrush, comb, meds. One pair of walking shoes already worn in. Then the red folder slid it flat beneath the sweaters beside the pills. I didn't leave a note. Didn't unplug anything. Didn't water the plants. The cinnamon rolls went into a paper bag. Still soft, still mine. I checked the clock. 9:17. Bus leaves at 10:45. I zipped the suitcase. Stood still for a second. The house didn't try to stop me. It just stayed quiet. I liked that. At the station, I paid cash. One way. Columbus to Bloomington. No return. The woman at the desk didn't ask why. I was glad. I waited near the window. My ticket lay flat under one palm. My other hand curled into my coat pocket, holding nothing. I kept holding it anyway. Outside, a kid argued with his mother about a soda. Somewhere behind me, a couple laughed too loud. My seat stayed empty beside me. No calls, no missed texts, not even a follow-up to the message. I didn't expect one. When the bus pulled up, I stood. Didn't rush. Didn't look around. The driver scanned my ticket. I nodded. Didn't speak. I sat by the window. Placed the bag by my feet. Watched as the station rolled past in pieces. Then came the roads I knew, the turn at the gas station, the bend near the old school, my street. The house slid into view, pale siding, faded shutters. Same dent in the mailbox from when Nate ran into it, age 16. The porch light was still on. No reason for it. Just habit. I didn't wave, didn't blink. I watched until the house was gone. And still, I didn't turn back. I tapped the screen. The diner's Wi-Fi cut in and out, but the email came through clean. Subject line full of cheer, New Year's brunch. Hosted by Val's mom. 3 exclamation marks. I opened it. Scrolled past stock images of champagne flutes and napkins folded like birds. Then the list of guests. Family Nate Valeria, the kids, +1's Aunt Marcy, Uncle Paul. And at the bottom in small gray text, +1, Nana Rana, called her Rana. Not Ramona, not Mom, not even Grandma. I stared at it. A quiet breath hit the rim of my coffee and bloomed fog across it. I didn't wipe it. They'd shortened me, trimmed me down to fit in some digital invite. I wasn't a person, I was a placeholder. I didn't reply. I hit forward. Typed one email address, one I hadn't used in months. R. Westlaw Private Client Mail. No message. Just the invite. Then I hit delete. The waitress came by, refilled my cup without asking. I didn't thank her, didn't look up. She walked away. I barely noticed. I read the guest list again in my head, word for word, each name polished and correct. Except mine. My thumb hovered over the phone. But I didn't type back. Not yet. I folded the phone shut, took a sip. The coffee burned a little on the way down. I didn't flinch. Outside, trucks rolled by on the wet road. The window rattled with each pass. I reached into my bag, felt the edge of the red folder. Still there, tucked between 2 sweaters, resting like a question I already knew the answer to. I pushed the door open. The bell above it chimed sharp and short. Inside, everything smelled like old carpet and paper. Mr. West looked up from behind the desk glasses already in his hand. We didn't hug, just nodded. He motioned me in, closed the door behind us, then locked it. Always cautious. Still kept files in cabinets, not clouds. That's why I trusted him. He reached into a drawer and pulled out 2 envelopes, one thin, one thick. He placed the thick one first. Updated, he said. All still in your name. Nothing was transferred. Not legally. I opened it. Quietly. Deed. Tax record. A signature from me dated years ago. One from him. One from the notary. Nate's name was nowhere. I ran my thumb along the notary stamp. The edges were raised solid. I didn't smile. Didn't feel triumphant. Just steady. Then the second envelope. Yellowed slightly. Sealed tight. From Robert, he said. He left it with me 2 years before he passed. Said only, "Give it to you if things ever felt off." I opened it slow. Inside, 1 page. My husband's handwriting, familiar, firm. 12 lines. I read them all. But one had been underlined twice. If they forget who built it, remind them without raising your voice. I didn't speak, just folded it back neatly. Mr. West sat back in his chair, eyes on me, waiting. I tucked the letter inside the folder, smoothed the flap, reached into my purse, took out a paper clip, fastened the new deed to the inside cover. Everything fit, like it was always meant to be there. I stood. He didn't stop me. "Same cell?" I asked. He nodded. I turned toward the door, hand on the knob. No questions left. No doubt. Outside, the sun had dropped behind the courthouse. I pulled my coat tight folder close to my chest, crossed the street without stopping. Didn't look both ways. I typed fast. Would love to join 2 exclamation marks. Friendly. Harmless. Exactly the tone Valeria liked, warm enough to seem grateful, soft enough to seem small. I hit send. Didn't reread it. Outside, the air bit through my coat as I stepped onto the sidewalk. Bloomington's shops were half open, half asleep after the holiday. I moved quickly in and out of aisles, choosing what the kids would actually use: puzzle sets, small notebooks, a winter hat with a crooked pom-pom. Nothing extravagant. Nothing that could be twisted into a performance. At the end of the block, I found what I really came for: a quiet print shop, legal forms stacked in wire racks. I pulled out a standard lease agreement, 1 year, no pets rent, due the 1st of every month. Blank lines waiting for signatures. The paper felt too thin for what it would do. Back at the rented room, I laid everything out on the bed. The gifts came first. I wrapped each one tight corners, tucked in tape, smoothed until invisible. It was muscle memory, birthdays, school plays, Christmas mornings when the house still echoed with small feet. But when I tied the last ribbon, my fingers stalled. Just for a second. The knot held anyway. I reached for the deed next. The updated one. Crisp. Heavy with proof. I took a pen, crossed out the old mailing address, wrote a new one. My handwriting didn't waver. A small change, but permanent. Quiet. Final. The room felt still after that. I slid the lease agreement into an envelope and added the children's handmade cards I'd kept from past years, sun-faded drawings of trees, and stick figures, all smiles. I didn't look at them long. Just enough to place them right on top like cushioning. The flap pressed shut with a soft click. I set the envelope beside my packed bag. I would carry it with me. Direct. Personal. No room for misunderstanding. Then I sat on the edge of the bed, hands on my knees, watching the winter light sink behind the motel sign. The quiet didn't bother me. It steadied something inside. Soon, I stood again. Lifted the envelope. Held it like it weighed more than paper. I stepped through the doorway before anyone thought to welcome me. Coats piled on the banister. Voices high and bright. The kind of cheer that has edges if you listen closely. I shut the door behind me and wiped my boots on the mat, though no one looked up long enough to notice. Valeria finally spotted me. "Oh, Rana, you made it." She waved me in like I was a late delivery. "My name is not Rana." I nodded as if it didn't matter and moved past her, holding the bag of gifts close so they wouldn't slip. Valeria's mother swept into the dining room, wearing a pearl necklace thick enough to choke on. She tapped the chair at the head of the table. "This is my spot, everyone knows that," she said. Everyone laughed. I didn't. I set the gifts on the sideboard, each one straight, each one quiet. My lips stayed pressed tight. No smile, no small correction to my name. I'd learned long ago that correcting someone who already decided what to call you is a wasted gesture. The room buzzed with talk about new diets, new jobs, new resolutions. No one asked where I'd been for the past week. No one asked why Nate hadn't picked up my last call 2 months ago. Nate avoided my eyes. He poured champagne into every glass except mine. "Oh, do you want some?" He finally noticed the empty flute. I shook my head once. He looked relieved. They passed plates around eggs breadfruit. I barely tasted any of it. The only warmth I felt came from the envelope inside my coat, pressed flat against my ribs. Effective Jan 2. I touched the edge of it through the fabric. Steady. Laughter rose again. Someone complimented Valeria's mother on her hosting. Someone else praised the decor. Everything was bright, polished, loud. I waited for the right moment. Not dramatic, not sharp. Just mine. Before dessert, I stood, smoothed the coat at my sides. "I have one more delivery to make," I said. "I won't be long." No one paused. No one asked where I was going. I walked to the door, picked up the gifts, and stepped out the envelope warm in my hand as I headed toward the place that still carried my name. I unlocked the door with my own key. The same one I'd used for 20 years. The lock still stuck a little before turning. They never bothered fixing it. I stepped inside. The hallway smelled the same citrus-cleaner old wood, something faintly sour under it all. I didn't call out. I knew they weren't home. I walked straight to the kitchen. The table was clear except for a half-used candle and a stack of unopened mail. I brushed them aside. The manila envelope came out smooth. I opened it, laid everything flat. The lease, the rent notice. The clause in bold tenant is not the legal owner of this residence. No red ink, no threats, just fact. Legally sound. Effective John 2. I reached for the kettle, filled it, lit the burner. The flame flared, then settled. The silence was steady. No slammed doors. No angry words. I found the old tin of ground coffee in the pantry, still half full, still mine. I brewed it slow, let the scent fill the space. Poured 2 cups, one for me. The second I left empty. I placed both mugs on the table, one beside the documents, one at the far chair, hers now, Valeria's, the seat she took last summer when she told me not to interrupt while real adults were speaking. I sat. The chair creaked. My spine didn't. I took one sip. Hot, bitter, good. Then I stood, didn't look around, didn't take anything else. I left the documents on the table, stacked neat, corner aligned. Lease on top. Highlighted line visible. I didn't leave a note. I didn't need to. Before I left, I turned the knob and left the front door unlocked for the last time. Let them walk in however they pleased. The wind pushed softly against the storm door as I stepped out. I didn't close it hard, didn't touch the handle again, let it hang half open behind me. I hit play. Nate's voice spilled out fast, uneven, strained. "Mom, Ramona? Can we talk about this? It's all a misunderstanding. Val's upset. The kids are confused. Just call me back, okay? Please." He sounded like someone fighting a fire he helped start. I let the message run to the end. Didn't replay it. Didn't save it. My thumb pressed delete. The screen went blank again. I set the phone down beside my coffee. The cup was warm against my palm. My hand stayed steady as I lifted it. Outside my new apartment, someone upstairs dragged a chair across the floor. Pipes rattled faintly. A normal building. A normal day. Quiet in the right ways. I checked my email, 2 messages from Valeria, both long, both blaming, confusion, timing, stress, miscommunication. Neither said the word sorry. On social media, she'd posted a photo of the kids eating cereal on the floor. Caption: housing instability. Prayers appreciated. Dozens of comments. Not one visitor at my door. I shut the phone again. The red folder sat in the drawer of the small kitchen table. Closed, its purpose finished. I didn't need to open it anymore. I opened my banking app instead. New account, new routing number, my name only. The balance wasn't large, but it was clean, untouched by guilt, expectation, obligation, a beginning. The radiator kicked on with a soft groan. Warm air drifted across my ankles. I stood across the room and pulled the blinds halfway down. Not all the way, just enough. The light thinned. The room softened. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't preparing an answer. I sat again, lifted the cup, took another sip. 3 days. No knock. No footsteps in the hall. No apology through the slats of the blinds. Just me, the chair, the steam rising from my coffee. I breathed in slow, letting it settle the way it never could in the old house. When the cup was empty, I set it down gently and looked toward the quiet window, already knowing what I needed to do next. I turned on the light. The kitchen came alive in a soft hum, cabinets lined up like they'd been waiting for me. I reached for the tin of coffee, tapped out the grounds, and set the kettle on the burner. The flame rose with a clean hiss. No rush, no noise in the hallway, just morning. I rinsed the mug, 1 mug, not 2, and dried it with the edge of my sleeve. Same blend I used in the old house, same scent, rising warm and familiar, but everything else was different. New countertop, new walls, my name on the lease, my key in the lock. The kettle clicked. I poured slowly. The first drop landed without spilling a small, dark circle at the bottom of the cup. I waited for my hand to tremble, the way it used to on holidays, birthdays, all the days I walked on eggshells in a house that carried my name but not my place. It didn't tremble. I lifted the cup, breathed in, let the warmth settle across my chest like something earned, not borrowed. On the table sat the red folder, closed, crisp, a new label taped neatly across the front. Handled. Nothing inside required my attention now, not signatures, not apologies, not explanations. I didn't touch it. I carried the mug to the small table by the window. The sky outside was pale winter, trying to decide whether it wanted to snow or clear. Cars moved below. Slow, ordinary. No one waiting for me. No one watching. No one asking when I'd arrive, what I'd bring, how much I'd cover. I pulled out the chair and sat. The quiet wasn't empty. It was space. Room. Breath. Steam drifted from the mug in a steady ribbon. I wrapped both hands around it and let my shoulders loosen the way they never could in the old kitchen, with someone always correcting me, rushing me, shrinking me down so their comfort stretched wider. I took the first sip. Smooth, strong, mine. Behind me, the apartment stayed still. In front of me, the street eased into motion. I didn't look at my phone. I didn't check for messages. I didn't need to. I set the mug down gently on the table and watched the steam rise, filling the quiet that finally belonged to me.